Hello, I'm Mitra Sorrells in the PhocusWire Studio at Phocuswright Europe, and I am joined by Julie White. She is Vice President of Commercial for EMEA at Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. Julie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, I was reading a bit about your work. I understand it crosses loyalty, sales, revenue management, distribution, and marketing. That's a lot on your plate.
It's a lot of breadth.
Yes,
definitely.
gives us a lot to talk about. I'm curious, what areas do you hear that hoteliers are needing the most help with right now?
I think it's a combination of their commercial teams working in collaboration together. So working on ways that how to help them create the efficiencies of teams with revenue management, working more closely with sales, working closely with distribution, especially, and all of those working as efficiently as possible because everybody's really stretched right now.
Well, and actually, speaking of stretched, certainly we know that there are a lot of workforce challenges right now across many industries, but, travel. I'm wondering, how can technology help hotels address some of those needs?
So one of the things that we've been working on is helping the technology, particularly with BI solutions, to render the information in a way that's really, really clear. There's a lot of data that's coming to the surface, but how to display that in a way that's really simple and easy to interpret. So using things like a red, amber, green sort of traffic light symbol. Are things good? Do I need to have a watch, or is there a problem I need to address quickly? And then not only flagging and bringing up information, but then telling the individuals, what do I need to do? What's the action I need to take? So helping to understand what is that information telling me is a next step that I have to do. That's helping revenue teams work more closely with sales teams in understanding potential RFPs that they may choose to accept or not, understanding in BI tools with rate information on rate parity. Do I have a problem? Do I need to make a change? And all of those tools that we've been working with hotels recently is about helping them make those decisions faster and more efficiently because they're all stretched.
Yeah, it's about being smarter in the way they work, I guess.
Yep.
Let's talk a bit about distribution. When you think about the question of how is distribution changing, what comes to mind there, and maybe what more can be done to drive loyalty in relation to the distribution?
So I look at this in two parts. I think distribution at its fundamental is still addressing the issues of rate parity and issues of rate protection. That's still an integral part of the problem. Where it shifted is we're moving from a lot of manual static type rate distribution more and more towards the connected solutions, and that connectivity is giving us better visibility of where the problems are and where do we need to chase, but we're still chasing, which is something that we're ongoing and trying to improve. And again, using technology and tools such as our partnership with OTA Insights and other types of tools out there are helping us to find those issues faster. I think in terms of the loyalty side, that's another fun one. Technology is an opportunity for us to also use things like our mobile app in driving loyalty with our members. And the loyalty apps originally started off being tools to tell you how much points do you have, where can you spend them, what is your earn burn, where's your status. But now it's turning into other tools for that loyal member and how they want to interact with us. Wyndham just deployed our new trip planner function in our loyalty app, which is a great fun opportunity for someone to build an entire itinerary on their road trip of anywhere. And it works all across the UK and Germany and Turkey. We've been testing it out and it works really well for someone to plan a great road trip and then understand the destinations along the way. And that kind of loyalty aspect is bringing stickiness to the relationship, solving, for things that maybe members didn't even realize they needed, but once they discover it's there, it brings them back to the app and brings them back to the brand.
What are you seeing related to that? What are you seeing as far as direct bookings? Has there been an increase in direct bookings coming in?
So we've seen an increase in both property direct in certain markets, an increase in our brand.com engagement. It's not been consistent across all of EMEA. We do see some markets that are still sticking with calling onto the phone into the hotel is a preferred way of booking, versus others are still going into the distribution world, and brand.com has engaged stronger. It is, I think, going to ebb and flow as we go into this next year because we're adding on the flight component which in the last 2 years was not as prevalent because people were driving to certain locations. Now the flight component is bringing people back into different ways of searching again.
That's interesting. So you're adding the flight component into the...
Not Wyndham specifically, but I think the customer is. Because previously in the last couple of years, we saw a lot of people shift from taking a flight somewhere and planning their trip through choosing the flight to actually they were doing it via, driving.
Yes.
Or spending more local vacation times, holiday times. Now that flight component is another purchase decision, people are going back and we're seeing more of that searching back online.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
And so, as we're talking then about how some of the traveler desires and preferences are changing, I'm also curious, we certainly have heard a lot about longer stays, hybrid work and leisure stays. I'm wondering your thoughts on how hotels can meet some of those needs.
So lots of things that we're doing in that place. In 2021, we introduced a whole suite of offerings to people who want to work from the hotel. And we call it our Work from Wyndham suite. Okay. And it's opportunities for people to work on a 6-hour, stay at the hotel if they need that time, that headspace and a quiet place. But it also offers different kinds of packages for someone who wants to work and have a meeting room, but then also extend their time perhaps into a leisure stay, and offering different price points for people to have that mix of the meeting room space, but then also a weekend stay. We've also been launching more recently into our residences model, which I think is another good answer to this leisure, work, stay flexibility that is the universe that we're learning to work within, where people can have a more of a condo style accommodation, where they can have multiple rooms, their bedroom, but also living space, a kitchen space, in a really lovely destination where they are able to work from there. And the flexible ways of working enable them to be in a really beautiful part of Europe and have a lovely stay on a beach residential product, but also have enough space to stretch out and work and stay and spend time with their families as well.
I mean, certainly what comes to mind there is this blurring of lines between the short-term rental and the hotel industry. I mean, now
definitely
it's the competition scope has gotten bigger, I guess, That's very interesting. I'm curious, any new marketing channels that interest you most right now? I mean, you guys doing anything in TikTok or, any?
We were just talking about that earlier this week with the teams, and that we definitely see, social media engagement is always important. And especially as we try to work more and more in attracting the younger travelers. That's how they want to interact with us. We have our traditional channels of social media, and TikTok is one where the video component is really engaging because you get a longer engagement with the viewer via that video. And so that's something we're looking to explore and do more of that video work versus the static digital types of advertising.
Interesting. So, of course, I need to ask, you spent many years in the airline industry. Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering, anything that comes to mind that was really applicable or that you've taken from that now is impacting your work with Wyndham?
So I think coming in from the airline industry into hospitality and then having the crisis of COVID hit was definitely very challenging, obviously, for all the reasons that we've all experienced. But I think one of the things I brought into that was the experiences of the post 9/11 recovery and how we as an airline industry had to regroup, to put our heads down and rethink the business. It was those experiences I brought into our team and how we had to take pause, reorganize, restructure ourselves a bit, and rethink the way that we were going to market and how we were supporting our hotels. Knowing that and how to organize that, I think, and doing that really quickly based on the lessons learned from the airline world was really helpful. And I think that sense of resilience and knowing that it's going to be a path through, but we will get there, was also a part that really helped just steady the ship as we move forward.
Yeah, let's hope that we have, some calm and
yes, we all need it.
Unchaotic times for a while. Finally, couple questions. I want to ask, sustainability, of course, is something that everybody's talking about right now. I'm wondering if you're hearing anything from hoteliers about some of the challenges that they're facing, again, kind of getting back to things are ramping up. It's busy. Workforce is down possibly, and yet now they're trying to make these changes or do things with sustainability.
So I think they are buying into sustainability is a customer offer and a value proposition that is really important. And that is a way of attracting and differentiating between a nice to have, it's now a must have for people. And I think, so the hotels, the challenge is there is a perception in some cases that sustainability is going to cost me more, but it doesn't necessarily have to. And we're coming up with new and innovative ways of how to help the hotels actually look at it as a cost savings mechanism. Hotel amenities are a good example. So the shampoo, the creams and things like that. There's now an increasing move towards simplifying those small pieces into the larger standards that are fixed in the room. That's offering a sustainability solution and also a cost-saving solution.
Right.
So helping our hotels find where they can meet both in a world where inflationary pressures are really high. They're also staffing, to its shortages. Finding those solutions where we can help support them in both areas is important. And I think that's what they're looking for from us as a brand, is how do we help them find those and create those solutions alongside with them.
Interesting. And then finally, I guess I would ask, what are maybe just one or two of your priorities for the next year? Like, what's the top of your to-do list?
It's always about, for our role is growing the brand awareness and engaging with our customers and our brands, and in growing the engagement with our loyalty program and the benefits that we offer, and creating and finding new ways like the road trip planner and other solutions to keep people coming back to us in fun ways that they appreciate and that solves problems and solutions for them. So the other part is also continuing to provide value to the hotels and growing the RevPAR and finding those right technology partners, like I was saying, on BI tools and things that make that decision-making easier and faster for them, so that they can make those revenue-generating decisions swiftly and concisely, and that they have a successful performance in their goals in generating that revenue for their hotel.
Okay. Yeah, certainly a lot to keep you busy.
Yes, yes. There's a lot going on all fronts. I mean, it is about, in our world as a brand, it's about engaging with our customers, but also engaging with our hotels and providing them those solutions. We see both of them as important customers in our world.
Okay, wonderful. Julie, thank you so much for joining us from Wyndham Hotels
Thank you for
Resorts.
having me.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks.